This is Todd Nunes, and you are listening to The Break It Down Show.
And now, The Break It Down Show with John and Pete.
Yes, you are. With us on our show this week is director Todd Nunes. Before we get started, Todd, there's a few things that we want to get out of the way, because we're about to get into a great show and talk about some great topics. And everybody, while you're listening, get on your computer, look this stuff up, go to the premiere. It's on Sunday, and go.
The 15th at 5 p.m. at New People's Cinema.
San Francisco, California.
San Francisco,
it's in
California.
Japantown. Great theater.
Great place.
Go see it.
Yeah, I can make it real easy for you. We have a web page that has all that information on it. It's allthroughthehousemovie.com.
Done. Allthroughthehousemovie.com.
There
Also,
you go.
listeners, if you dig the show, hit that subscribe button.
Would you please?
Yeah,
Please.
hit the subscribe button.
Please.
Frankly, we don't care if you even listen. Just hit the subscribe button for us, baby. Hit it.
One time. Just
Yeah.
one time it. That's it.
All right. So, thanks for coming in, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You got a premiere happening tomorrow night in San Francisco.
Yes, I do.
This is a big, big night. I mean, this night is not that big. 2 nights from now is really, really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had our official world premiere
Yeah.
in Hollywood
Okay.
Right.
on Halloween night.
Yeah. Perfect.
So this
Yeah.
is our San Francisco premiere, but still, this is my hometown, Bay Area.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's Friday the 13th.
And it's Friday the 13th tonight, so that's great. So I was
Yeah.
real excited about that.
Yeah. Right up your alley.
Yeah.
So Todd and I went to high school together.
Yeah.
Along with your wife. And Todd was sort of, growing up, he was sort of the magnet that took the drama kids, all of us, and said, hey, let's do our own stuff, our own projects. And
Yeah.
he would say, I want to make
So
Friday
you
the
guys had a
13th.
drama teacher.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
How was he? Was he any good?
Mr. Heller was great.
Yeah.
He was really great. I mean, he was a Shakespeare guy,
Yeah.
but he did not try to censor me when I came to him
Oh, good.
about doing
Sometimes
Friday the
that's
13th.
the best you can do.
Absolutely.
Is
So
just let a kid go.
absolutely, and I'm really, really grateful to him that he allowed me to express myself in that way, because high school for me was an incredible time. I had a wonderful time in high school.
Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with because I was able to do the types of things that I
Yeah.
enjoyed.
It was
Yeah.
your passion, for sure.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
my total passion.
So, is he still with us?
Yes, he is. In fact, I'm Facebook friends with him.
Oh, nice.
Is he
I need-
coming?
I need to go find him.
Yeah. What?
Is he coming to the premiere?
He's not. He has something going on for his birthday. He can't come, but he did write me a really nice email.
Well, that's cool. Man.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
So, Pete, I cut you off because you were telling a story about you and Brenda went to the movies.
Yeah, we went to go see a movie. What movie did we go see? The Purge. I always
Oh,
call
yeah.
it the Surge or
The
the
Surge.
Splurge. So we went to go see The Purge, and we saw it in Vallejo.
Yeah.
It was a packed theater.
Yeah.
And
Vallejo's a great place to see a movie.
yeah, a very culturally diverse place.
Yeah.
But if you've never seen a movie, and there's a lot of like TV sitcom,
Especially a scary movie.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's
Okay,
scary.
there's a lot of black people in Vallejo.
There's a lot of black people in
There's
Vallejo.
a black movie theater in Vallejo.
Yeah.
If you're scared, you know, remember the old Eddie Murphy bit? Well,
Yeah.
what the fuck you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Done lost a pistol when you busted through the window.
Yeah.
Yes. So Brenda had never seen a movie.
You never lost a pistol when you busted through the window, Brenda? Okay. All right.
Did you just call her Brenda?
That's your ass, I guess. That's how the Eddie Murphy bit went.
Anyhow,
Did I just call you Brenda?
Yeah.
I'm nasally. I just had ice cream.
That was it.
Yeah.
We like ice cream. Anyhow, so we went to go see the movie,
Uh-huh.
and it was the full black movie theater experience.
Uh-huh.
You know, as there's been a lot of parody and comedy about that kind of thing. And but Brenda didn't know. She was unaware. She had never experienced this. Didn't know. Hadn't watched Living Color to see the comedy bits about it.
shit.
Yeah.
That's your ass, I guess. Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was poking my daughter like I like to do, make fun of her and stuff. She's like, "You're frustrating. I'm already irritated as it is." And then I realized that she had never had the full interactive theater experience like this. And I said, next time we go see a movie, we'll go to Pleasant Hill and we'll watch it with the white folks and we'll clap quietly
Yeah.
at the end
At
of the
the end,
movie.
you give
It's
it the
not
golf
quite
clap.
as fun. Gotta admit.
laugh, at the appropriate moments,
Yeah.
but not overly laugh.
Exactly.
Hey, tell us about the theater where you're premiering the film.
Yeah, the
In
New
San
People's
Francisco.
Cinema.
Yeah. That's in Japantown, huh?
Yes, it is. On Post Street.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great theater. It's an underground theater, so you get a really great experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you mean by underground theater? You mean it's subterranean?
You actually literally walk downstairs.
Yeah.
And you go underground. The
Yeah.
theater is underground.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really great. It's got 5.1 sound system, and
Who's in
seats
this
are
movie?
comfortable. Seats are comfortable. Oh, well, in this movie, we have, I don't know if you're familiar with the horror genre, but we do have a big horror celebrity, Scream Queen, by the name of Jessica Cameron.
Nice.
Who
Wow.
was featured in this movie.
Yeah.
And we also have Jennifer Winger,
Uh-huh.
which I don't know if you're familiar with her either, but she's done a lot of stuff. She was just in a couple of sci-fi movies.
So how do you
Beautiful.
go out and get some of these top-level Scream Queens? I mean, is that a challenge, or do you have enough connections to walk in the room and say, this is what I want to do? I mean, that's got to be a big coup.
Yeah. Well, let's back up for a second,
Okay.
because horror is your genre.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it always has been.
It has been. I mean, actually, I kind of rediscovered it in a way. When I first came to Hollywood, I was like, I've got to go legit, you know.
Right.
I've got to do these types of movies because there's more in me than just the horror movies.
Yeah.
But horror is definitely my passion, and once I found my way back to it, it was like everything just sort of fell into place. And suddenly, because I knew exactly what I was talking about and I had the passion about it, people started standing up and listening.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wow, now people are listening to me. So it's like I didn't stop talking until
Right.
I got a deal.
Wow.
Well, hey, what's your favorite horror movie? Like right now, I know you probably got a bunch, but
Like, what do you mean? Like, well, I'm a real big fan of the 80s classic, which is what my movie is inspired by. So Friday the 13th and Halloween, nothing will probably really ever take the place of those. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
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 I love those movies.
That as a period was unique. I mean,
Absolutely.
there is a certain flavor right there. Sort of like, I mean, everything has its peak for whatever it is. If you're into funk,
Right.
you had to be in it in the 70s. And being in the horror genre right there, like you said, Friday the 13th, Halloween, you know, those iconic figures. Have you heard of this? Somebody put together like the Expendables of horror. And it's got everybody in it. Robert Englund's in it. The guy who played Jason's in it. The guy who played Michael Myers is in it. What's the name of this film?
Well, I think that isn't it like a GoFundMe?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. I mean, I don't know how likely that's going to be to take place.
Well, there's an IMDb page for it already.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing all of the things
Everything they
that you
can.
want to do to
Yeah.
raise money. So they got the GoFundMe. They got outbound telemarketers calling investors. I don't know where they get their lists, but they're calling, you know, anybody who might have money invested in something. They've managed to get a database of people, and they're hitting everybody up for money. And they've got a very stylized pitch, and it's interesting to see whether or not this movie ever gets made. But it is being pitched as, hey, this is the Expendables of horror.
Yeah, I think, well, I think there's a lot more to be done with those characters that the studios can make a lot more money off of than putting them all into one movie just yet. You
Yeah.
still have your versus, your Jason
interesting.
versus
Well, see,
Freddy.
the thing is, I don't know
solo
that it's
movies.
I don't know that it's the characters. I don't know that anybody's licensing any of the things we actually want to see. Like if we go to the movies to see Robert Englund, we want to see him.
right.
You know, we don't want to see him play a mailman. We don't want to see him.
Yeah.
But
he won't be doing Freddy Krueger.
no, he
anytime
won't be
soon.
doing
Yeah.
right. So
He's-
you
he's
got to
done with
license
that.
all those
Yeah.
things. There is not going to be a movie that's got Freddy and Jason and
Michael's a whole different.
it's going to have all those people in them.
Yeah.
But they're going to be like, yeah, he played the next door neighbor. He wasn't even scary.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. But the way that they're pushing this film and raising money, it makes me wonder if this is sort of somebody's Hollywood Ponzi scheme.
It could be. I don't see much hope for it though.
Yeah.
It is.
I wouldn't be putting any money on
It's
it.
a rough path.
I
Starting
think
with
so.
GoFundMe makes it
Yeah.
hard. It's just hard to make things work that way.
Oh, absolutely, it is. It is. Yeah, I had experience with the GoFundMe thing, so I know that all too well.
Yeah, it's a tough way to do it. So let's say the name of the film and get that out and talk
The
about it.
name of the movie is called All Through the House. It is
All
an
Through the House.
80s inspired
Uh-huh.
slasher movie. And it's bringing the horror movies back to the time when they were fun and
Yeah.
scary, and you had a good time
Right.
where, you're not watching a lot of people get tortured and taken
Yeah.
apart bit by bit. It's like, it's great to see a head being chopped off.
Sure.
Maybe not so great seeing somebody's hands rolling around someone's stomach for 20 minutes.
Right.
So I think there's definitely
It's great to see a head get
It's great.
Hey, if it's done right, it's fun. You laugh, right?
You're talking about yes, it has to be an artistically done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to, it's all in context.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a
Absolutely.
question. Is off the wall, and we get back on the topic. But is Summer School a horror movie?
Summer School.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. You're talking about Mark Harmon's Summer School?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that was.
But there's enough
that's a
horror.
Remember, there were
right?
those two guys. There were those two guys in it
Yeah.
who were probably you and you.
Yeah.
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 There
And they
was-
would do like the makeup, put the saw on the head, they'd show
Uh-huh.
up in class and stuff. They had elements of horror in it. Those guys were into horror for
That's
sure.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't see that character
They were
very
students
much
of
in film,
horror.
at least then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were two things that I really liked about that movie. Number one, when that movie came out, it was the summer right after. You are a year behind us. I graduated in
Yes.
87. You graduated in 88. The year in between us, so right going into your senior year, was when that movie came out.
Right.
I was a freshman at DVC.
Yes.
And
indeed.
in it, Mark Harmon wore a DVC t-shirt.
I know it. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Courtney
Go
Thorne
figure.
Smith was in it.
The other, Courtney Thorne Smith.
And a hot Italian chick.
The other thing about that movie that I really liked was it featured Shawnee Smith.
I
Who
love
I-
Shawnee
I'm
Smith.
in
All right.
love with
okay.
her. Oh my god.
Oh
I've
yeah. Did you see
loved
her in The
since-
Blob?
You know what?
She was so great in that movie.
Oh,
I was. That was.
she's on my list. I'm gonna make a list.
Yeah.
Looking around for a piece of paper and a pen because I need to make. Wow. Well, and the other list I'm going to make is I'm going to put you on the list, Todd, because who in the hell knows who Shawnee Smith is?
Exactly right.
Oh my God, I love her.
A huge fan. Huge fan.
I remember she was on a TV show in.
Wing. What was it? No, not Wings. Was it? She was on a comedy.
Yeah. Well, she was on. Recently, she was on Becker.
Okay. Yeah.
With Ted Danson.
She had a part in Saw, the Saw
franchise.
franchise.
Yes.
She was also the host of Scream Queens. See, I do know Shawnee.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah, I had a crush on her.
Man. Yeah, right. We're talking about like a 30-year crush.
Yeah, but it's like she actually is responsible for the way that I write some of my female characters.
Well, here we are getting to something.
Isn't
wow.
We're doing it.
And look at you. We got to there from summer school.
Yeah.
So
It is a horror movie.
Uh-huh.
See?
I loved her in The Blob, and I love for me, I love strong women because I really believe that women, when it comes down to it, they own the horror genre. They really do.
Absolutely.
And in today's market, you're seeing a lot of women sort of reclaiming that by becoming directors,
Right.
writers, and
Uh-huh.
Jessica Cameron, who's in my movie, she has 2 movies that she has out, and they're brutal.
Yeah.
So it's not just the men where it used to be in the 80s that people say, oh, men who hate women write these movies. And it's like, no, I mean, these women, the term final girl who has to go against the ultimate threat to take them down.
Yeah.
Herself, it's a woman.
Yeah.
No one wants to see the man do it.
And no one wants to see the man do it. And there is something like deeply maternal that we look for, even though it's a young hot chick who does it. There is still something deeply maternal in that character.
Yeah.
Rising up and taking charge and being the caretaker of everybody. She's ultimately the custodian of everyone's safety.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the reasons why that Jamie Lee Curtis, when she came onto the scene, remains to be the ultimate scream queen.
Sure. That's right.
Was a babysitter.
Yeah.
So that plays right in exactly to what you're saying. But I also believe that for women characters, or like the horror movie for me is the female action movie.
Yeah.
The characters face the same kinds of challenges that the men do.
Right.
The men is actually
insurmountable. That's
absolutely.
where you can
all their
make the
friends
challenges
die, the cops
insurmountable.
die,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
All that stuff. So it's the same sort of storyline, and you have to tackle the threat.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that happened. Where horror movies, I think that people are more accepting of a woman being a victim.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So, but luckily we're in a time now where that's changing, and we're getting kick-ass women, and women just don't stand there and scream anymore.
Right.
Because obviously, right, they would fight back.
Yeah, they go do that Tai Bo.
Exactly.
So, yeah, they
That's
wanna
right.
do it. So, okay, so the Scream Queen, they're out there and they're taking over. They're doing the directing thing. What about the dudes? What are they doing? Have they missed the boat? What's the
No,
difference?
I think, it's
There's
just,
still plenty of dudes.
yeah, it's still mainly,
Yeah.
it's still mainly men, but now you do have your Jessica Camerons and your Debbie Rochens and
Who's? I mean, not
It's
Johnny
just a
Depp.
place-
Who's the Scream King?
Scream. You know, they tried to do a Scream Queen. I'm not going to mention the movie that did it. And for me, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know what? You got action movies. You know, all these men are always the action movie. It's like, this belongs to
The women.
the women.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm always for the Scream Queen, the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a fan of killing off the final girl, which
Oh,
is
good.
another trend.
Yeah.
It was another trend. No, I think that it's okay if, say, you have another character that you sort of, in your writing, have sort of lined up to take on that spot.
Right.
Once you set up a Scream Queen or a final girl and she gets killed and somebody takes over for her, or however you want to do it. There's a million ways you can do it without having her get her head chopped off. Because I don't want to see my final girl get her head chopped off.
Does it matter that we know the formula? I mean, like, the final girl typically isn't the one they show with her boobs out in the shower, you know? She's not the one that has the boyfriend when they, you know. So
Although
does it
Shawnee
matter?
Smith, if you're listening and you want to do that,
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Does it matter that we know the formula?
I do not think that it matters. I mean, I don't think it matters any more than when you go see a Disney movie about a princess and you know the formula of that story, of what's going to happen, and she's going to have this foe and she's going to get the man in the end. It's the same thing. It's what you do with the formula. Right.
Yeah, everything's got a formula. I mean, and it's not so that everything's formulaic and for the lay person out there or the civilian.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easier. Mm-hmm. This is the misconception.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, all those horror films, of course, you're going to get chased through the cemetery. Okay, great. It doesn't make it easier.
Yes, I agree.
What it does is it gives you a framework that people can relate to. Mm-hmm. We all like tension. We all like build-up. We all like a finale, and we all like the satisfaction of, you know, that ending that gives us, oh, good, he got his. The comeuppance and all of that stuff. We like those things.
Absolutely.
So why wouldn't we, artists who make whatever genre you make, you gotta do some things to make your audience happy.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make everybody good at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just saying, when people go, oh yeah, that's just one of those formula romantic comedies, it's one of those formula horror movies. You know what? Go try and make one.
Exactly.
And you'll realize that you can be as true to formula as you want. Guess what? A joke always starts out with these three guys walk into a bar.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
It doesn't mean every joke's going to be good, and it doesn't mean you can tell it.
And if we've learned anything, it's you can't underestimate what it takes to learn the actual full formula. Like, okay, you know the big building blocks, but you got to go find a guy that plays the violin sideways to make the sounds at the right time, and you got to have all these other cues and hits and beats.
Exactly. It's layers.
Yes.
It's layers, and all your layers have got to match and come together to form one entity that makes perfect sense. It feels right.
Well, anybody that we like, no matter what you're doing, you know, by the time you become a master of something, it's because you've mastered nuance.
Right.
You know, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Love him or hate him, he was an iconic figure. Some people say, well, he wasn't that great a singer. Yeah. And you know, he wasn't that great a singer, but he mastered nuance.
Yeah.
He knew how to take a crowd and say, listen, you guys are going to have a good time tonight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he'd walk them through their good time. Now, for you as a filmmaker, the thing that I appreciate is you have the ability to create something that takes us on a good long ride. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to get any less satisfaction knowing that you don't like to kill the final girl.
Not that I don't like to have twists involved with my final girl. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are other things that can happen. There's a lot of other things that can happen. I'm not going to give anything away about my movie, but
what can you tell us about the movie? All through the house.
A lot of stuff that you're saying right now, I can tell you that in one of the reasons why we've won and the reception that we've had from the audience is because it is a fun ride. Mm-hmm. And that is what it is. I'm not trying to be Shakespeare here. This is a straightforward slasher movie. It's got a lot of things in it you probably haven't seen before.
Yep.
But it's got a lot of things in it that you have seen before, but done just a little differently.
Okay.
So you're going to laugh, you're going to jump, you're going to get everything out of what a horror movie should give you.
Might pee a little.
You might pee a little.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I look for those things.
Sure.
When I'm in the audience.
So the thing, okay, let's say, you're going to laugh at stuff. You're going to be startled. You're going to go through all those emotions. And if you're going on the ride and enjoying the ride, like I said, twist some of those things.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
But you can also get away with just doing something well.
Yeah.
You spook the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
You can go, oh, I had the shit spooked out of me before, but man, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you don't know a lot of things when you're making the movie. You're only going on your instinct and what you feel and what you know.
Yeah.
So when you're in the audience there and you know that a certain thing's coming up, is it gonna make them laugh? Is it gonna make them jump? Are you gonna hear people scream? Or are you gonna do this whole big setup to scare people and then
it's gonna fizzle?
And it's gonna fizzle.
Yeah.
So being able to be in front of an audience, I know that I was able to hit a lot of that on.
Yeah.
So that's
you felt like you nailed a lot of the notes?
I felt like I did from the audience's reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a great moment.
So tell us about the process. When did you start writing this film? When did you?
I started to write this film once I pitched the idea of my killer, because that's where I start from.
Okay.
These kinds of horror movies, that's really your star.
Yeah.
You can have all the most gorgeous women in it. I have a lot of gorgeous women in this movie.
Thank you.
Okay? But it's your killer who's the star.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can pitch your killer to someone and get somebody interested, like, I haven't seen that before. I did never hear of a killer with that kind of past before.
Yeah.
And get interested by it, then you got him. And so that's where I start.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to be doing like another slasher movie and another slasher movie. There are all different types of subgenres to the horror films, and I'm a fan of a lot of them.
Yeah.
So my next movies are going to be different.
You're going to explore different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is there space to do? They're not going to do any new Freddie movies for a while. Is there space to do a reboot and prequel stuff to kind of go into his? Because one of the things I love about superhero movies is their realization.
Yeah.
I love that. That to me is way more compelling than watch them do the impossible fight against the impossible thing.
Yeah.
So, do you think is there room for that in those kind of franchises?
There absolutely is. I mean, we've had a lot of talk about franchise and where the story would go next, and there's definitely 2 other stories that are there. Not saying that I'm going to do them, but they're there, and it all sort of comes full circle. So it's a really nice story when you have them all together. So prequels, there was talk of that. That's sort of a trend also.
What about any more Chucky films?
Well, I think there will be a Chucky film.
Nice.
I mean, they rebooted Chucky not too long ago.
Oh, did they?
They did. They did. It just went on to the DVD, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's hard to know about that. Okay.
And there is rumor of doing another Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Based off of part 3, the Dream Warriors.
Ah, okay.
But Robert Englund will not be in that.
Well,
Can you confirm or debunk the rumor that there are an inordinate amount of horror genre directors who are left-handed?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta.
So the search
stay
goes
silent on that one.
You're staying silent on that.
You're not gonna break me.
All right. just curious.
Hey, so I want to go back in time a little bit. So you and
Yeah.
I used to ride the bus to school.
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
Middle school,
yeah.
high school, all that stuff. And I remember one time there was a show, I believe it was on NBC, and you were irate the next day because they had stolen your story. Do you remember this? It was a story of like a woman and she got kidnapped, and you're like, I wrote this story.
I think I do remember that.
See?
I think I do remember that.
And we're talking, this is like 84. It's got to be 84. or
Yeah,
something.
but that's the funny thing about, you have these ideas, and once you put that out there into the universe, it's like someone could just sort of grab it. Because
Right.
I did a short film before Chucky was out called Chubbykins, based on a doll that looked just like Chucky, that
Right.
went around and killed all my brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. And so then all of a sudden Child's Play comes out.
Yeah,
So
right.
I think that I'm not the only one who's had.
Sure,
Those
but
kind
back
of-
then, though, you were inconsolable. Like, you were like,
Yeah.
couldn't it be that someone else, like, they didn't steal your idea? And you were like, no, listen. And
This
you had
is mine.
all the elements of the story were there. Because
Yeah.
I happened to watch it. We
Yeah.
talked about it on the way to school. You were just so upset about it. It really stuck with me. And I thought, man, here's a guy that is passionate about this stuff. And
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't. I'm like, yeah, I just want to squeeze some boobies. You know? I'm just trying to do other stuff. But it always impressed me that you knew so clearly what you wanted to do. Do you know when that switch got flipped for you? When you're like, this is what I'm going to do. And I don't know what the path is, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go do this.
As far as horror movies?
Just in general, in the entertainment business, horror movies, whatever you think the best answer is.
Well, I mean, I was doing this when I was in kindergarten. You know, it wasn't just in high school, but I was gathering groups of people together to do productions. I was gathering them together on the playground and doing stuff and performing them in front of the classrooms.
That's just how you played.
It was how I played, and
Yeah.
I did that in the neighborhood, and I got the kids, and we put the garage, and it would be a theater, and the play would always fall apart, you know.
Sure.
But I never stopped.
Yeah.
It never
That's for sure.
deterred me at
Yes.
all. We're
That's
going to do it
I'd
again.
say that's an illness.
Yeah, I would say so too.
That was never, ever going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was compelling, though. Todd would come up to you and say, I want you to be whatever character was going to be. Like, we did Breakfast Club. He already knew he was going to be
Yeah.
Judd Nelson's character, and he had so-and-so picked out. He had you already set.
Yeah.
And then he would sell your ass. He'd be like, I kind of like to squeeze some boobies. He'd be like, there'll be girls there. You're like,
Okay.
all right. I'll show you."
Yeah, you know, and you had to do that.
You
to
did. You totally would sell it.
Yeah,
you would.
to get people, because I mean, they're, like you said, everybody's mind is somewhere else.
Doing something else. Yeah, exactly.
And
I
I
liked
need
Ali
people
Sheedy
focused.
as well.
Sure.
She was
Yeah,
no Shawnee Smith,
yeah.
but I liked her okay.
Yeah.
You
I
know-
like Molly Ringwald.
Sure.
Yeah, I met her. So then later on when I met her, it was big. It was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't
Wow.
even talk.
Oh wow!
Right.
Yeah, and she wasn't even famous anymore at that
Yeah,
point.
but she's
so-
important to our youth, though. Like, she's-
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
what it was.
It,
Yeah,
it,
that's what it
doesn't
was.
matter. It's not like a current fame. It's
Yeah.
what she means to you. I
Yeah.
mean,
And she did. She meant,
who is that for? Let's go around the table. Who is that for you, Pete? Like, if you met him right now, you'd be like, "Oh my god."
You know,
I
I'm big
can't
on
even
you
talk.
too. So probably, you know, if I saw those dudes, I would be like, I would have to make myself be normal.
Uh huh.
And so I wouldn't be normal. I'd be like, I'm being
Yeah.
normal. Look at me. Hi.
Yeah.
I have hands.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
That would happen.
That-
Hello.
Yeah. What about you, John? What do you got?
I don't know. Shoot. A couple years ago, we went to go see The Time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize The Time was a big part of my musical upbringing and my teen years and stuff. That was the soundtrack of a lot of things that happened to me that were cool. But we were just there and we were like pretty close, you know, like in the second row. And then Jerome Benton came out. He's the dude who always held the mirror for Morris Day. He just had, you know, he would dance and he would do the thing, and he didn't sing. He didn't play an instrument. He'd hit a cowbell every once in a while, but he was like the first Flavor Flav. He was the hype man.
Hype man.
Okay.
He was like James Brown's Bobby.
Right.
You know, he would show up, and if Jerome needed me, somebody bring me a mirror, you know, he would do that, and it would be Jerome, and he'd come sliding in, and he'd have that mirror. He showed up, and I lost my damn mind.
See?
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I had to stand next to my wife, and I was like, oh my God, that Jerome. And she just looked at me like, what on earth has gotten into you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't talk. That's Jerome.
I think if we put a bag on your head, kidnapped you,
Yeah.
and dragged you to Minneapolis,
Uh-huh.
and took you to Paisley Park,
Uh-huh.
you'd poo your pants.
Probably.
You'd be walking around.
I mean,
mouth
I'm a
open.
big Prince fan.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yes, it's true that but you know what? Yes, I'm a big Prince fan, but I don't care that much about that.
Yeah.
It was, for some reason, there was something special about Jerome.
Yeah.
Because he made a living in music, and he never made music. Like, he couldn't front a band. He couldn't
Yeah.
be the singer of a band. He couldn't even be the bass player or but you know what? The five of us are not complete until that guy shows up with a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about, it goes back to the formulaic whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a formula. That's certainly, like we said, James Brown had Bobby,
right.
but he did it well,
Yeah, you did.
you know. So there.
The hype.
So there.
And yours, is it Molly or is it somebody else? you
No,
think?
no, mine would be Jamie Lee Curtis. It was really,
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
me
She was really
too.
the only
You don't
star
get to
that ever.
change.
Huh?
You had your journey. You don't get to
I did-
change.
Well,
Yeah.
he changed
Yeah, yeah. No, I
because
know.
you had Molly Ringwald and you had Jamie Lee Curtis.
No,
but
I loved Molly Ringwald. I had like
Yeah.
a huge crush on her, and she was, like you said, a big
Yeah.
time. But Jamie Lee Curtis was different. She was the only real celebrity that I ever followed,
Mhm.
that I ever really read up on, and
Yeah.
just stayed consistent.
huh?
And so I was lucky enough to meet her twice.
What a rack too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Curtis, her dad had
She's
one of the
beautiful.
best.
Also a rack?
No, but he had one
Yeah.
of the best letters into People magazine. Like they had written a story about it. It wasn't all that kind.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, Dear People magazine, Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what Tony Curtis said. That is awesome.
You gotta say it in that kind of Tony Curtis. That's my Tony Curtis imitation. I thought that was pretty good.
Okay.
You know?
That was good. It was
But,
great.
yeah.
You're hired.
To play Tony.
Yeah.
The next time that you have a Tony Curtis character, that
I'll do
you're
some
gonna
voiceover
feature,
for you.
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis, though,
Yeah.
I would. You know what? She was so beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and I know she's aged, but she's fine.
She looks great.
Yeah.
She looks great. And I admire her
I'd
because
still
she,
smush him. Can I say that?
Yeah,
I'd still smush
she
him.
hasn't really given into that. You know, she hasn't got that plastic surgery
No,
look. Like she's like,
no,
these are my
she's-
wrinkles. This
that's
is who I am.
right.
Yeah.
You can be beautiful when you
Yeah.
get older. You can, you can still
Still
have it all
is.
without. Yeah. Oh, she's
Yeah.
still. I think.
Yeah.
She
Nothing wrong with her.
is. And she's a.
I mean,
great
she eats
person.
the yogurt so she can poo. That weirds me out a little
Exactly.
bit. But whatever.
It helps. It's
Hey.
working, right?
Yeah.
That's an evolution thing, though, right? Like we've got
Eating yogurt and pooing?
No, allowing the females in Hollywood and in life just to, the men have always we've had the benefit of being like,
Absolutely.
we get distinguished, but we're
Yeah.
starting to
Allow the
that.
ladies to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
distinguished too. You know what? Here's my distinguished lady, Diane Lane.
Sure.
Oh, she's
Oh
great.
my God.
Yeah, and I have a thing for Diane Lane too. Outsiders. I did
Mhm.
Outsiders.
Sure, we
Oh,
did
you
that.
were in the Outsiders.
Absolutely.
And
I
so
can't remember who I was, but I did something.
You
But
were
not
one of
Diane
the,
Lane.
You were,
Yeah, I was one of the socials.
Yeah, you were one of the socials.
Yeah, I remember.
It was you.
Kinda.
And, yeah.
Whoever else, maybe like Scott Morrison or something like
I think
that.
so.
Yeah.
Scott was always in it too.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Scott. We're doing this thing tomorrow. It's like Scott Morrison's birthday like 2 days ago or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, in the past.
In the past. Happy belated.
Yeah.
So
Is your movie set Christmas time? Because all through the house?
Yeah, it's set in Christmas time. It takes place all in one night, which is a sort of a
Nice.
classic horror movie.
Right.
and Scooby-Doo episode
Yeah, absolutely.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where a kid can fall in love with the horror genre.
Yeah, and feel safe
Mhm.
and fun.
Yeah. Because it's like there's the element of horror, but maybe the Globetrotters.
Or corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Did
Phyllis
Corn do a
Diller.
Corn absolutely did one.
Wow.
Well, they did their own version. Like instead of being on Scooby Doo, they made Scooby Doo on them. Like they did their own
Ah.
little video thing, So, but they got to use a Scooby Doo character.
Sure.
Yeah, I think somebody did some artwork
Mhm.
about Scooby Doo and Evil Santa from my movie. That
Aha.
was on Facebook. So yeah, it keeps coming back around.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Coming back around.
I'd like Freddie Prinze Jr. to do well. What's he up to?
He's doing some TV guest shows.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. He's not really. Last I heard, he was not really. He was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can be some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
At a certain point.
If you live smart and you don't live
Yeah.
outside of your means, you make a great living as an
Or
actor.
you marry Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah,
sure.
he married
You know,
well.
That could help.
Yeah.
But so did he? I mean, I know he sort of just said, "Okay, well, I've had enough of that."
Yeah, he did. He did.
I'm glad that when he decided he'd had enough, he decided to also go on living and still have enough.
yeah.
'Cause, anyway.
And did you bring him up because he played Fred in Scooby Doo?
Yeah, that's what made me think of him.
the connections.
Yeah.
I see
That's
them.
what made me think of,
Oh, okay.
of him. But I also was recently listening to. I was listening to an episode of More Stories with Jay Moore.
We love Jay.
Yeah, and he had Jay Leno on, and Jay Leno was talking about when he was coming up, and one of the guys that he hung out with when he was coming up was Freddie Prinze,
Huh.
Okay.
and Freddie Prinze was funny. He was hilarious.
You got to be
I
funny
think-
to take on that role of Fred. You got to have a sense of humor. You can't take yourself too
Yeah.
serious, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was cast right.
No,
as
that
Fred,
was the
though.
kid. I don't think he was cast right.
I don't think
no,
so.
I think
there
that was
could have been a
bad.
better Fred.
I think they were just getting him because he
Is it the name?
sort of was
Name.
the thing right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe he realized, they just got me because I was the thing right then. I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I don't need all that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's, even keeled. But tell us about some of the other actors in All Through the House, because
Well, one of the greatest actors in All Through the House would be my sister,
really,
Ashley
you're
Mary
still
Nunes.
wrangling people into your productions.
Yeah,
in your
I am.
life.
I am. Well, she was on. I don't know if you know. She was on a reality show on the Sci-Fi Channel about fighting robots.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, she made it all the way to the end of Robot Combat League.
Sure.
Yeah.
She got real popular from that. She made it all the way to the end. She lost, but she racked up a lot of fans, and she's done some other
Good for
bit
her.
parts, and she's amazing in this.
Huh.
So, and it also sort of works to our benefit because there's
a
the
shorthand.
brother-sister duo of
Yeah.
indie horror.
I
And
see.
She's a scream queen. I'm the director, and
Right.
it's working. So.
And there's a shorthand when you're directing your sister, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, because it's really easy to get her to a specific spot or to get her to jump out a window, rather than somebody else asking another
She can
actress
take
to
some
do stuff.
chances for you too that other actors wouldn't take.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to say that at the very end when I made that last comment. I did mean because it's your sister. What I meant when I first said it was that you guys have the same appreciation. You guys have the shorthand isn't just necessarily because she's your sister, but because you're after the same thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
And she aspires to be a scream queen.
Sure.
She came along. I was full force into horror movies.
Does she write?
No, she doesn't write. She's just an actress.
So you've had an influence on her life.
Are you going to get her to write?
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if she's a writer. I don't think that's her thing.
Okay.
She's an actress.
All right.
Yeah.
So you've been able, for a long time, to see people in a role and then go get them.
Yeah.
Obviously had a huge influence on your sister. You got me to do things that I wouldn't normally do. When did you realize you had that ability? Is that early on too?
I think it came from early on.
Yeah.
Trying to get people to commit to don't go play on the swings and stuff. Stand here and work at recess time with me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to look at every person as an individual.
Also,
what it's
Pete,
gonna
now
take
that
to
we're
get
12 and you have pubes, take your pants off, light them on fire, run down the street.
Okay.
That's what I imagined when you said, you got me to try things that I had never tried before. I was like, Pete lit his pubes on fire.
Always was.
On stage.
Okay,
On
right.
stage.
It was
On
hey,
stage.
it was
for the
for
I do all my own stunts.
That's
Yeah,
right.
He did all his own stuff.
It was for the production.
And even
That's
back
a
then,
sacrifice.
I'm really into fight scenes.
Yeah.
I think you probably remember that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything. I would do these long, extensive, pretty good for being in high school fight scenes with, Ben Smith.
For sure.
Was excellent. And Misty. And that continues on. So
Yeah, we got to say
acting is a
Misty
big part.
Loki's name too. I don't know if
Misty
you said her or
Loki,
not, but
yeah.
She was always involved in that. Yeah, absolutely.
She is great to this day.
Yeah.
What's she up to?
She is living in Texas.
All right.
Yeah.
Married, living in Texas,
Married,
having a
living
great
in
time.
Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Let's just go down the list. Plug your actors and.
Well, another actor that I'm really thankful for is Lido Velasco, who plays our killer.
Okay.
I can't give too much of about the killer away, but when you have a mask on, and a lot of horror movies make this mistake, they just think, oh, I can wear a scary mask and walk around and just kill people and stand here and there, and it doesn't really work like that. And Lido really does transcend the mask. He brings a character that you can feel just within his movements and through his eyes. And he brings a lot to the movie.
How much discovery happened during production as opposed to, I got this actor for this thing that he does?
A lot of discovery happens because there are a lot of times when you're in a situation and something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like the script called for, something happening, you pull something out from under the bed, and when our location, our bed, there is no under the bed. So you have to make a decision right then and there. And that's part of being a director, is taking that and not only coming up with an answer, but coming up with something better and to challenge you. And you can never stop to worry about it. It's an answer.
Yeah.
This is what we do. Let's move.
And there's no time.
There is no time. There's no time.
I think I'm remembering something that I
Oh,
believe
no.
it was you.
Uh-oh.
But we did in high school. We did Romeo and Juliet. Were you in Romeo? Okay.
Yeah.
And we did fight scenes.
Yeah.
And we had a real nice. Did you get stabbed?
Yeah,
in the
I
face?
did. I got stabbed in the face.
in the face.
Yeah, I got stabbed right
in
here.
the cheek.
It
yeah.
wasn't really that
It was.
bad.
It was a poke.
It was
Yeah.
a poke, but my face was like burning, and I had to continue on, and I was playing Friar Lawrence.
Right,
So
live on
I have
stage.
this like
Yeah.
gigantic monologue, and every time I'd pass somebody on stage, they'd look at me like,
Oh,
and I
You
was
got
just thinking,
stabbed in the
yeah,
face.
and I was thinking that my chin was, my cheek was being peeled off, but it wasn't that bad.
But this informs where you are now, because I think there's something to the fact that the show had to go on.
Yes.
And you got to charge every time you walk past and somebody was like, hey, Todd. You go, oh, God, what happened? And you're like, yeah, my monologue's in like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was
Yes.
because that was fight scene stuff. And,
Yeah.
and was
Just
it Rob
my
Collins
eye.
that stabbed you in the face?
I think it was.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good times. Good times.
Yeah. What are you doing next?
Well, this movie, every time you do something in Hollywood, and I was really lucky to get this gig after so long, it leads to the next thing. So the movie I did before this one, which was small, then led to this one, more money, and the next project, which I can't reveal the name of it, but I can tell you that it is a remake of a classic horror movie. And
Nice.
Who would be better to bring to life a remake of classic horror movie? I would
We're going to
hope
leave
me.
that.
I would hope me.
No, it's you, absolutely. I mean, you are the expert. At least in this room, you're the expert on the genre. I mean,
I was going to
this
say
stuff.
Jamie Lee Curtis. But yeah, you.
Yeah.
She can make
Yeah, Jamie Lee. I would go with Jamie Lee. Yeah. So I'm real excited about
Yeah, no,
that.
that's awesome. So
Yeah.
you're getting a chance to remake something.
Yes.
And is it a full-on reboot, or is it a...
I prefer to call it a reimagining
Okay.
because I'm sort of taking a concept and I'm going to be mixing in some other elements I think that at the time just weren't incorporated.
Yeah.
So I think that there was maybe something that could enhance the overall story.
Might you try and get Shawnee Smith in something?
I would love to get Shawnee Smith in something.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. We were
How do
looking
you-
at Eliza Dushku.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Yeah, if you hear this, Elijah, you know we are coming
Yeah.
after you.
Yeah. We'll tweet her out.
Yeah, I dig
Yeah.
her too. If you got Shawnee Smith in a film, do you have in your next film a part that would be hers already? Like, I know where I'd put you.
I absolutely, I do. And
Oh.
if I didn't, I would
Yeah,
very quickly.
I'm excited.
So,
I'm very excited.
yeah.
Man, I'm really happy to meet another appreciator. I didn't know there were two of us out there.
that's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say her name a lot. Not a lot of people know who she is.
Right.
They
Yeah.
know,
And she's
yeah.
aging like a fine wine.
Oh, she looks beautiful to this day.
Good gracious.
Yeah.
Arguably better.
Yeah.
She keeps getting better.
Yeah.
When she was in Becker, she played kind of a, rough around the edges character who was probably a bit of a harlot.
Yeah.
It only made me like her more.
Yeah.
God
Anything
bless
she
her.
does
Yeah,
makes me like her more.
really.
So you've got this big project coming up, and other things on the horizon that you're sort of wanting to do, and you're getting lined up as well. Or how far
I
out can you
absolutely
plan?
am. I am. I mean, you've got to, especially when you do get your foot in the door, you got to just go running.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be just grabbing everybody that's close to you, that's a connection, that sees, oh, you just got an award. Oh, you
Yeah.
just got this. That's the time to strike. That's the time to make your deals.
Mm-hmm.
So I am looking forward beyond this, and to get out a well-rounded horror subgenre resume.
Mm-hmm.
But all I can say right now is I'm just appreciative of what I'm able to do in the position that I'm in.
Is there room for a horror movie told from the perspective of the killer?
There are horror movies, yeah.
Are they good?
Well, there's a movie, a real good movie, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie's really hard to watch. I've seen it once. It's a brilliant movie, but it's not a fun movie.
Right.
It's not a fun
You're in the
movie.
mind of a madman. I mean,
Exactly. It's like, you don't have no one really to root for, no one to cheer on. Like, oh yeah, kill him. Like you can root on Jason,
right.
but rooting on a real
No, it's
sadistic
too
Too
killer.
close to serious.
Yeah, it's just not. They're talking about like Ted Bundy, and then it's like all the
Yeah.
the fun is gone.
Yeah, 'cause I've seen these the videos of, and I've always thought like from this perspective, like the ones of Ralph Macchio and Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And you flip it, and you look at the Karate Kid. He's kind of a dick, Yeah. Runs
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
He's causing trouble. You
Yeah,
know?
like with the Wicked kind of does that spin.
Oh,
on
you're
the-
right. Yeah,
the
you're right.
Wizard of
Yeah,
Oz. So,
exactly.
yeah, it is sort of a
yeah.
thing if you can, But I think it's sympathizing with the serial killer.
You can't do a
That's
real
a-
life thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just to show that there is another perspective, and
Yeah.
and you get something different from that.
Can you create that perspective but still have camp?
Yeah, I think that
That's what's missing, I feel like. If
Yeah.
you did that perspective, it's like, because Dexter
Yeah.
still manages to have some, you root for him, of course, he's killing bad guys,
Yeah.
but it manages to have some camp.
Yes.
So you can
Yeah.
still get behind him and not feel guilty about it.
That's really, really true. And that's part of the reason why, we have these killers and these get-ups. And
Mhm.
it just takes you away sort of from the real horror in
Yeah.
today's world, which is the actual face of a madman.
Right.
That's like a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the getup. It's like when you allow Stewie to curse. Well, he's a baby and he's cursing, but he's a cartoon. You can let Bart Simpson can get wise because he's a cartoon.
Yeah.
So that's really it. Sort of just cartoons it, and you have to cartoon it a little bit, or else it's like
a little
too
real.
creepy.
A little too real. Yeah. I try to stay away from that.
I don't know if you recall, but my freshman year in college, I was going to DVC, just like John was. And I cajoled you into doing a thing for me because I had a video class, and we had to make like a little vignette kind of movie. Do you recall this at all?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
So I was Guadalupe Rivera, like an inspecting reporter, or kind of thing, investigating reporter, and we did a scene down. I think we went all over town, just. Totally
it was called Rivera on Fuego.
Did we go to a
just
supermarket?
An excuse for people
we
to
went down by
light his pubes on
Rayleigh's.
fire
Oh,
again.
okay.
And we went down to the library, and you played like this,
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah. So I got him back. And there's actually apparently in my house somewhere, at my mom's house, your grandma's house. There's actually a video of it somewhere. So if I can dig it, find a VCR.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, step one.
Yeah, I've got a lot of that. My horror movies on VHS somewhere.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty funny.
But it'd be funny to have that and pull that out because it's. I'm sure it's all green and because who white balances anything when you're. But I got an A on that. By the
Did
way.
you?
Yeah,
Good for you.
You put
Good
something
for
together,
you.
then you put work into it, and they're like, touchdown, good enough.
It was the performance.
The performance.
Yeah, I think the comments from the teacher were like, production's okay.
Good
Hey,
enough.
maybe white balance something every once in a while because it was a little green, but that performance.
Yeah,
A+.
Yeah.
A+. You put graphics in on the camera. Got that.
Graphics in on the camera, and it looked like the block letters from an Atari 2600.
It did.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I always felt like I was sort of like born like maybe 10 years
Yeah.
too late because I was sort of doing what a lot of people are doing now.
Got
but with
paid
the
a lot of
equipment.
money to do when
Exactly,
they had
because
to.
I was doing my own movies,
Yeah,
but
right.
no one, you can't sell those. But with the equipment, technology, and everything that's
So
just
much-
at your
yeah.
fingertips.
It's a
Yeah,
lot
kind of like
easier.
sometimes I go. "Argh."
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't trade your experience though, right? They
No.
don't love Molly Ringwald like you do.
Exactly.
They don't have that.
But it's the same as the formula thing. I mean, people go, oh yeah, nowadays you can there's computers and you can just green screen and you still have to do it well. So all the technology that exists, it's great. It's great to put those tools in people's hands. It's great to sort of democratize filmmaking. Sorta. Because there's also a glut of crap.
There isn't. It's also you can have all these things and special effects and people's heads getting chopped off and pretty girls with big boobs, but
Slow down.
okay, I know.
Yeah,
I thought I
yeah.
would get you on that one.
Can we
That's why I
have
went
some-
like this.
Is there more? Can we have more pretty girls with big boobs?
Yeah.
Big boobs, medium boobs,
Medium, whatever.
small
Just
boobs.
boobies.
Yeah, bring them all.
Yeah.
Bring them all.
But
Anyway,
whatever
I'm
the,
sorry.
the
Where were you?
boobs,
Yeah.
but you have to have a story
Uh-huh.
that all those elements are glued to
Right.
that enhance those elements.
Yes, absolutely.
And if the story isn't there, then the head being chopped off is just sort of
it's a head getting
it's just
chopped
a head
off.
getting chopped off.
And they
Just big boobs, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's certainly like the greatest thriller. You have to tell me where thriller stops and horror starts, but like Alfred Hitchcock didn't need that device.
Yeah.
And he's the master in
He is
that
the master.
greater genre, whether it's
Yes.
thriller or horror,
Uh-huh.
He liked big boobs.
Yeah.
He did. He was into that too.
Yeah. And like guys like Bela Lugosi, those guys worked so hard on the stagecraft. The story was there, but it was so hard to get the whole thing off the ground.
Yeah.
They had to focus on different things, and maybe you lose something when you don't have that level of focus on those other things, and like this becomes a computer.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rod Serling gets enough credit for injecting intelligence. I mean, you brought up Bela Lugosi, and you watch those old Bela Lugosi movies, and yeah, they're scary, but they don't mess with your head. They didn't really know how to mess with your head yet.
Yeah.
It takes time to build that puzzle.
But I
together.
think the audience back then
Uh-huh.
was
Sure.
terrified.
different audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have what we have now.
But we have now like our monsters are Jason and Freddy and Michael and it was Dracula and Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Right.
back
Back
then,
then. And
the
today we
Universal
have-
years,
yeah.
and you saw those movies, those audiences, like you said, they had not been exposed to those things,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I grew up in a cornfield, and I know what shucking corn is, and what in the earth is it? That's a vampire,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The supernatural was a bigger deal back then. It's not as big of a deal now. You've got it, having the guy next door come at you with
Yep.
the machetes.
That's
Terrifying.
scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the real terror.
Yeah.
All right.
So where does thriller stop and horror start? Like, where does it?
I think it really is the body count.
Mhm.
It's the mass,
Mhm.
and you can sort of have like the horror thriller
Yeah.
is real popular. Some people consider Seven to be a horror thriller.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
bounce
good. That's a
back
good
and
call.
forth.
Yeah, right. Because the gore is in there.
The gore is in there. You got all those elements that
Mhm.
excite the horror fans, and all the other elements
Sure.
that maybe excite people who aren't into horror.
Yeah. Is there another good one like that that's got a good pivot between the two? Is there off the top of
Well,
your
there was a time back during the Seven era where there were a lot of that sort
Yeah.
of horror, where horror movies weren't really coming out, and so you sort of had this Taking Lives was one. And there
Okay,
was,
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was quite a few of them. Again.
You know who else I'd like to see in a picture?
Who?
Nia Peoples.
Yeah? How
Oh,
come?
I love Nia Peoples because she's beautiful.
So you like Mario.
She's aging like a fine wine too.
You like Mia, but you know,
She's just
Melvin's like Melvin and Mia, but you don't like Mario that much.
No, you're talking about Mario Van
Man
Peebles.
Peoples. Yeah. Peoples,
Yeah,
right.
I'm talking
You're right.
about.
Mia Peoples.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Nia Peoples.
Nia
Remember
Peoples.
Nia Peoples dance party with Nia Peoples?
I do remember.
That was that show that Tara was on.
Yeah, she was on that. Yeah, we interviewed Tara Kemp. Do you remember Tara Kemp?
Oh wow! Yes.
Yeah.
So Nia Peoples was an 80s pop star. She was at one time married to Howard Hewitt, who was the brains behind Shalimar.
Uh-oh.
But Nia Peoples was beautiful, still is beautiful. And she was going to be in my movie.
Oh,
I
really?
had enough of a conversation for her to consider being in my movie. I never got the money to make that movie. That was an expensive movie. But, it got far enough that we were entertaining it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, well, maybe if we can get you, we can get... I was after her and I was after Mark Dacascos. But somehow got in front of her and she said, yeah, we could talk about it. And I said, well, I'm in the Bay Area and when I come down there next, she goes, yeah, let me know when you're coming down here next. And, if you want, we can get together, we can have lunch. And I was like, you know what? I'm coming down. And she was like, when? And I said, tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
And she was like, oh, really? And I was like, just coincidentally.
Just
Yeah, we can get
imagine
together. I'll be
that.
there tomorrow.
Good
So
timing.
I did, and I was, had a 9-to-5 job, so I had to call in sick and hit high five
Absolutely.
at 10 o'clock at night so I could have lunch with Nia Peoples the next day.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's what you got to do.
That's
Yeah.
going for it,
as soon as
man.
she says
You gotta
yes,
go
you're like,
for it.
yes, the deal's done. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
You got to get a little crazy.
That's right.
We
You
talked
got to
about
strike
this.
while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
You got to make hay when the sun shines.
Yeah.
And I like that I used metaphors that use the word hot and
Uh-huh.
sunshine. Because both of those
Together.
things describe Nia Peoples.
Absolutely.
Nia Peoples, you should be in a Todd Nunes movie.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
She'd be a good screen queen.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hey, man, thank you.
Yes,
This
was
has
a
been
blast.
awesome.
This
Yeah,
was a
wasn't it
blast.
fun?
Oh, it was a blast.
We've had a bunch of Benicia folks on. We've had Teresa on.
Yeah,
We've had
yeah.
Scott Pelkey on. We've had
Okay.
Chris Barron's not been on this show, but he was on our old show. Chris does sound.
Oh, does he the sound?
Yeah,
for
for Lucas Ranch.
Oh, okay.
He does
Well,
the
yeah,
sound.
that's right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we had a bunch of Benicia folks on.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I
John
know all
Lyman
of
on
them.
a bunch. Yeah, right. Yeah, and they're all creative people doing creative things. Just from our little happy little town. So-
Yeah, I think we had a really interesting class of people.
Sure, for
that,
sure. Yeah.
That were really
Yeah.
pretty talented.
So, can we do a follow-up? Like, next time we're in town,
Yeah.
we'll give you a call.
Okay.
And set up and talk about how far along you are on the next picture and kind of where you
Yeah.
are and just do
Sometimes it's fun, like if you think of somebody that we should get that maybe we don't know, that you're like, they'd be great for this, you sit in with us and guest host with us too.
Okay.
That seems to work a lot. Just because you have, a different perspective.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good.
I mean, if you wanted some screen queens,
Absolutely.
I'd probably.
Oh, yeah,
do
that'd be a
that.
lot of
Yeah.
fun.
My sister,
Yeah. Oh, we'd love
That'd
to
be a
see
lot
that.
of fun.
she's
Yeah.
a
That'd be
celebrity
a lot
and
Yeah.
reality show celebrity.
Yeah, totally.
She would be down.
Cool. Well, everybody, go check out the film. It's playing in San Francisco on Sunday. You can get tickets at... What's the website again?
It's at Another Hole in the Head website, film festival.
Okay, Another Hole in the Head Film Festival.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
one of the top 5 genre film festivals in the world.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to find them on the way.
Hey, where's the movie going to be after Sunday?
Portland. We're
Okay.
going to Portland December 5th.
Okay,
So we're at the Portland PD Extreme
nice.
Film Festival.
We know people from Portland, so hopefully.
Oh,
we can
great,
get people out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty.
Cool.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Todd
again.
Nunes,
Yeah, this was
everybody.
great. I had a blast.